It's kinda hard to admit. I landed a six-figure job right after graduation and still I managed to screw it all up. I thought I made it, bought a new car, flexed designer clothes, but looking back, that was the beginning of my downfall. Today I'm trying to build up side hustles, but still trapped in a 9-to-5 job, plus still paying off my student loan debt. Hi, my name is Orkan, I'm 33 now, and if you're in your 20s, this video could literally save you years of regret. Another mistake that comes with life was taking the default path without fully understanding its impact. Basically, there is a default path for all of us, whether it's by the pressure of society or the education system, whether it's by our families, and probably you can relate also that especially your parents have a really clear vision for your future. But the truth is, there are also a lot of other paths to take. All the time we hear how risky it is to start a new business, how difficult it is to survive, how much capital you need to get something going. Many people are so vocal about that, but they never talk about the consequences of the default path. The consequence of working 8 hours at a non-fulfilling job, the consequence of working for a boss you dislike, the consequence of being compensated less than your actual productivity. It is discarded all the time. I know there are lots of people out there saying they have no issue with that and just want to work for some hours, get their salary in return, so as a reward, and live their life. And that's totally fine with me, but for myself I realized that I needed to focus more on my own interests. And that's how I got rid of the other mistake I did as well, and that's to care about other people's opinions. Of course, this doesn't mean not to listen to others, it just means to be very aware of the fact that people tend to judge topics they know nothing about. Let's say you hold a master's in mathematics, right? You talk to someone who has almost no knowledge. You would identify their flaws and misassumptions just in a few seconds. But if you had no mathematics education at all, you would believe everything they say, right? And exactly that was what held me back for so many years, because I was surrounded with people who had no knowledge about business at all, and every time the topic came up I had the feeling that this must be so difficult for me to even think of it. But the more I got educated on the topic, on how to start a business, and I mean really proven methods, how to develop business ideas, how to get clients, I understood that all of it is part of a system and processes you need to set up. The best example of that is taxation. It's framed that dealing with the government is such a hurdle that you could get fined, which is alright, but if you do it the right way and comply with the rules, then there's literally nothing to worry about. And guys, let's be honest, this is exactly what I'm doing with this channel right here. I talk about how to set up businesses, how to use frameworks, how to develop business ideas with scientifically proven methods. The best part is, it's totally free here on YouTube. For example, you can watch right here how to set up your business. I know that compared to other YouTubers, my channel is not that big, and that's okay with me, because I'm focusing on delivering value. Which brings me to the next mistake I did in my 20s so often, and that was comparing myself to others. I saw others in nicer cars, wearing nicer clothes, having fancy vacations, or achieving better grades than me. And I always thought to myself, why am I so bad compared to them? It was not that I was jealous, it was because I was wondering what I was doing so wrong all the time. Let me tell you what happened to flip the switch in my head. One day I had the flu and couldn't go to work, so I had to visit the doc, who had an office in a quite fancy block. But right at the time I was fighting with this flu, and I was thinking, how many days would I get off? Suddenly I realized when looking around that so many people drove around in their Lambos, sitting in cafes and just hanging around. The block was literally packed with people. I remember thinking, am I the only one working here? So instead of going to the dock, I ordered a tea and sat beside a young group of people. They were talking about their dad supporting them with 2K a month. Another one talked about his brand new car his mom bought him. That's when I realized that not everything is as it seems, and everyone has a different background story. I would be ashamed of myself to get support from my parents in my mid-20s. That exact moment I stopped comparing myself to anyone at anything. I started becoming proud of the struggle I was going through, because I knew that I'm much stronger in my mind whilst driving in a bus compared to these guys and their Lambos. This mindset is not arrogant, it just helps you to think healthy. And this brings us to the next mistake, which is losing touch to others. To be honest, I didn't really master it myself yet, but still I believe in the value, so I'm gonna share it with you. In our lifetime we encounter so many people, and with most of them we never stay in touch. Ever wondered why? If you think about it, it starts at a really young age. You lose touch with people who you went to elementary school, high school, or college. By the time you start working at your office job, you are already old and not so open anymore to connect with others. You never know who might become successful or who you'll need later in life. It's a fact that most job openings are filled based on recommendation of current employees. And in order to stand a fair chance, you really have to have a good network. That's why being friendly, polite, and someone others enjoy being around is so important. You don't need to be the main attraction all the time. Let others be it. Just stay in the back, have a proper distance to people, but never lose touch. But at the same time, this also means you shouldn't get too close to others, as this may also disturb your relationship down the line. And many friendships are shattered because of careers and jealousy. Don't let that be you. The last mistake is not to start a random business. That's actually my biggest regret. I thought for so many years which business to start, how to make money, and sketched it all out. Wrote plans, didn't stick to it, as I was fearing the results all the time, until one day a close friend of mine called me and asked, shall we start a cleaning service? It was so random. I was thinking about e-commerce, dropshipping, YouTube, quite fancy stuff, but never about a cleaning service. And I said, yes, let's do it. As soon as we started, we learned so many things. How to get customers, how to set up processes, how to hire employees, how to deal with insurances, how to do taxation, how to manage budget. You can't learn this through any book. You have to have practical evidence. And that's why I'm saying start a random business, and you will soon find out if being a business owner is something you enjoy or not. And my journey didn't end with the cleaning service. It was my kickoff into the business world. Right now, the cleaning service is still doing great, actually much better than my other businesses I started from scratch. So you never know what you will succeed with. I really hope that those mistakes will save you years of wrong decisions. If you want to know how to deal with risks in a very structured and scientifically proven way, I recommend to watch this video right here, as it will help you to start your first business. Do you have any tips for me to improve my videos? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one. Bye.